Hey guys, it's Fumaya. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. Either way, you are welcome. So I wanted to come on and share a list of my go-to school supplies, but then I thought, why don't I make this like a library pack list, like a backpack guide for all-day library stints. And I think this is really helpful because for me, it was kind of trial and error in undergrad and then in law school. So if I just give it to you straight, you guys won't have to go through the whole, what do I bring? I left this at home, etc., etc. So here we go, backpack guide for all-day library stints. First, you want comfortable, warm shoes. This is so important because most libraries that I've been to run pretty cold, even in the winter. So having comfortable shoes that are also warm is really great because my toes get so cold if the room is too chilly. So that's something that will keep you comfortable long term, and it makes such a difference. Another thing you want to bring is a sweater or some type of coat, maybe a bomber jacket, something that's going to keep you warm. When you're going to be at the library all day, you want to make sure that discomfort is not one of the artificial difficulties that you face. So having that sweater and those warm shoes is half the battle. A blanket, especially for law students. You're going to be at the library most of the night, so you want to bring a blanket in case you want to take a quick nap at your desk or in your study room. It's so common for kids to be napping in the library during the night, during exam period. I remember in undergrad, even when I would work through the night, I would bring a little blanket with me in case I wanted to cuddle up and just take a little power nap. So having that blanket with you is great. Headphones. I don't go anywhere without headphones, but if you're not someone who's like a music junkie like me, headphones are really important to bring to the library because no matter how quiet a library is, it's going to have ambient noise. You have laptops to thank for that. I know that for me, if I'm sitting in a room and I just hear like typing nonstop for hours, that's going to really mess with me. So headphones really helps to cancel that noise out. You can listen to a white noise playlist on Spotify. I have a playlist. It's my study playlist, and that's my go-to. I curated it myself, actually. So if you want, I can share that link. I'll put it in the description for you guys. You guys can just follow it and use it. I think it's so helpful, and it makes all the difference in the world. Earplugs. This is something that I didn't start using until law school. I have some right over here. I'm going to grab it. So I really love these earplugs by Max. These are really soft and they have instructions for how to put them in. You got to be careful because you don't want to damage your ear canal, but earplugs are amazing. They cancel out most of the noise so that you're just in the zone. You can't hear anything. You can't even hear your hand rubbing against the paper, and it just helps you just focus and just zone in so well. The first time I used earplugs was during finals, and it just was a game changer. Now I love them, and it's a really good option if you want to break from your headphones. My ears get kind of tired if I'm listening to headphones for hours on end, so I just switch between the headphones and the earplugs if I'm going to be at the library all day, and that just kind of keeps me going. The Pomodoro app. So this isn't called the Pomodoro app. This is called the Focus app, and it employs the Pomodoro method. I touched on the Pomodoro method in my law school vlog, or week in the life of a law student, and it looks like this. It's got a really nice clean interface. So the Pomodoro method employs 25-minute focus increments broken up by little break increments. I think the breaks are typically like 5 minutes, and so it does that back and forth. 25-minute focus, 5-minute break, 25-minute focus, 5-minute break, 25-minute focus, 5-minute break, and then when you've done however many 25-minute periods, then it'll give you a long break, which is like 20 minutes. You take that 20-minute break and then you come back for 25 minutes. And I find that this really ups my productivity. Every time I start this and I sit down to study and I'm like, okay, I'm going to budget 5 hours of studying, I always end up doing at least 2 hours more than I originally intended because it just makes it so easy to focus. And when you take those breaks, you can do whatever. You can stand up, you can walk around, you can check your phone, whatever you want to do during those breaks you can. But 25-minute increments of focus is something that's really helpful for me and for most people. So I recommend you try the app. It looks like this and it's called Focus Keeper. Water bottle. You need a water bottle. Here's what I'm drinking right now. I try to drink at least a gallon of water every day. I tried to drink that cute. It didn't happen. Being hydrated is so important. You want to bring your own so that you're not having to go buy a plastic bottle every single time you want to drink. I feel like I spent way too much time talking about that because it's self-explanatory. Tea bags. So this is something I started doing last year. I would just bring tea bags with me to school because most places have somewhere where you can get hot water for free. And I found that that was more affordable and just made a lot more sense. and I have the tea that I really love. So I just bring whatever tea I love and then just get the hot water for free in a mug or something, which brings me to my next point. Definitely bring a mug. You're going to need caffeine of some sort. I'm not much of a coffee person, so tea is my go-to source of caffeine. I really love matcha tea as well as black tea. My favorite black tea is Earl Grey. So do what works for you, but bringing a mug is really helpful and just helps you sort of have everything you need in one place, and then you can just control what you're drinking, what you're taking in by yourself. Lip balm. I personally can't focus or do anything if my lips are chapped, so I need lip balm everywhere I go. The one that I'm loving right now is the Laneige Lip Sleeping Mask, and that's what I have on my lips right now under my lip gloss. So lip balm is a must-have. Quiet, odorless snacks, you guys. Don't be that person who comes into the library with like halal. Odor pollution is so real and it's so distracting and it's just super inconsiderate, especially during finals period where everyone's trying really hard to focus and get as much work done as possible. So just bring an odorless snack that doesn't have crunch to it. Something like grapes, something that's not going to make a lot of noise and isn't going to give off a strong odor. That's your best bet. And if you want to bring a crunchy snack, then go somewhere where the library is not as quiet and intense. Like the first floor is typically a more bustling area, so you can kind of get away with that there, but definitely don't do it in like the quiet areas of the library. MultiColor highlighters. So this is more for law school. Some people do something called book briefing, which is where you brief the case in the textbook. And so you highlight the holding one color, you highlight the rule a different color, you highlight the reasoning another color, and then you highlight dicta a different color, and then maybe highlight the facts another color. And this way you just keep everything straight in your head and you can extract just by looking at the page what the key parts of the case are. Other people like to brief like on a computer. It's just up to you preference wise. Book briefing tends to be helpful for class in case you get cold called, that type of thing. So up to you, but if you want that option, multicolor highlighters are helpful. Flags. And flags just look like this. They're by Post-it, and you just stick them onto whatever you want to mark. You can just take your syllabus, look at your book at home, flag where you're going to be reading or wherever you left off or whatever, and then you just very quickly like navigate to where you need to be for that day at the library. It doesn't seem like a big deal, but I find that little things like that do save time and they add up. So whatever you can do to save time on the logistics side really helps, because then you're maximizing that time. You can just hit the ground running. The more time you spend sort of doing all that minutia at the library when you get there, the easier it is to get distracted and just not make the best use of your time. Sharpie, helpful just in general, I feel like. I don't know. I would use them to mark up the tabs or the flags that I was using, like revisit this page, finish typing, outline, whatever. Book stand. I'm using one right now. It looks like this. So it folds up nicely like this. It's wood. It's nice and pretty. And then when you want to use it, you open it up. It stands like this. And then you put whatever you want to read right here. Boom. Book stand is a game changer. Game changer. So they range in price and quality. I have this one, which is like nice. I have another one that's like a solid book stand. And then I have one that's just like a couple pieces of wire that I just put in my backpack and take with me everywhere. If you have a certain budget, I'm sure you could find one that works, and they pretty much all do the same thing. I'm just extra. When you are a OneL, when you're a law student, you're going to have hours and hours and hours of reading. And after a while, that takes a really strong toll on your neck. It's going to be killing you. Your back's also going to hurt. And then you're going to have shoulder pain and all that just from that bad posture of leaning over your book for hours a day. But if you got a book stand, you can just sit up straight like I'm sitting, and then the book stand is right in front of you. You put your book on the stand, and it makes it so easy to type and read as you're doing it. It's such a great tool that I just don't understand why you wouldn't spend the like less than $20 to get it for the health of like your neck and your back and everything. So I highly, highly, highly recommend a book stand. I told you guys I like to color code. So these are my colorful erasable pens. Such a dweeb. I like erasable pens for the obvious reason that you can erase them. And they write really well. I love how they write. They allow me to color code. And then if I make a mistake, they erase really, really well. They're not like the erasable pens from back in the day, the 90s, early 2000s, that would like leave all this residue and smudge and ruin the paper. These do a really great job. And so I recommend these to people who want a colorful set of erasable pens. I will link that in the description as well. So in undergrad, I just used bound notebooks, but somewhere between undergrad and law school, I switched over to loose leaf, and I cannot go back. I love using loose leaf paper for notes. Let's say you have, a certain section that you're working on to outline at the library. You can just take those pages from your notebook and then put them in some kind of folder or in like a binder or whatever, and use those pages and then put them right back. You don't have to carry that much stuff. And you can also take loose leaf papers and like put them interchangeably, reorganize them, kind of like you would index cards, which I really, really love. I started using these notebooks. These are like hybrids between a binder and a notebook. They're very, very lightweight, and they allow you to put your loose leaf paper in, and you can just open them. They open up like that, and then you pop it in. It's just like a binder, but like a notebook hybrid. So I love using these, and I have so many of them. They are pricier, but it's so worth it. And then the loose leaf paper I use is this 5-star reinforced loose leaf paper. I don't think you can see it, but maybe you can see how there's like something here just making it stronger, just holding it together. It gets rid of that annoying problem that we all had in middle school and high school, where you would have a piece of loose leaf paper and then, whatever happens and the thing would rip. This thing would rip, and then you would have to get reinforcements yourself, or just be like, screw it, and you'd lose the page eventually. Mead has taken care of that, and they have gone and reinforced the paper themselves. It is pricier than regular paper for sure, but you can buy it in bulk on Amazon. I'll link it down below where I buy it, and it just is, I love it, so I just can't go back, sorry. So this is key. I didn't start doing this until last year, after they did like a tutorial on best practices for OneLs, and they talked about the importance of setting a time frame to do any task. So to explain this idea, she told a story that made a lot of sense to me. Basically, she said, if your mom comes into your room and she says, I'm going to be back in 3 hours, this room needs to be spotless by the time I get back, you're going to finish that room in 3 hours. You're going to find a way to do it. But if your mom comes to you and says, hey, grandma's coming over this weekend, it's Tuesday, I want this room cleaned by the weekend, somehow, some way, that task is going to expand from Tuesday to Saturday. So she said, if you want to be really efficient with your time, set little time increments for each task so that you maximize each time increment and get as much done as possible. So what I would do is I would say, okay, 2 hours for this task, break. 2 hours for this task, break. 1 hour for this task, break. 30 minutes for this task. And that way I was just way more efficient when I knew that I had a set amount of time. I wasn't, on Facebook. I wasn't on Instagram. I wasn't on YouTube, messing around. I was more focused because I was like, okay, I only have 2 hours to do this, and I want to get as much done in this 2 hours as I can. I use the timer on my Apple Watch. I really like this one because it doesn't make noise, but the tap on it is so strong that like, no matter what, even if I was asleep, I would feel that. But just use whatever you want, whatever works for you. Just make sure again that it's not disruptive in the library, because you don't want to be that person. Okay guys, that is it for my study tips. I hope you guys did enjoy and found it helpful. I wish you all the best of luck for finals. Do your best, do as much as you can, but always, always, always prioritize your personal health, your mental health above all of this. Grades are not everything. They're important, yes, and you should definitely try your best, but do not ever sacrifice your own well-being for a grade. Please don't do that. And if you're stressed, please use the resources at your school to talk to someone. I know my school has free counseling at times. If you have resources like that, definitely take advantage of them. Make sure that you're talking to someone about the stress that you're feeling, not bottling it up. And remember that nothing is the end of the world. Everything can be overcome, and every situation can be maximized for its best. So please just remember that as you go into finals. Definitely subscribe if you enjoy videos like this. And if you are already subscribed, go ahead and take that next step and join the notification gang. This will make sure that you don't miss any content from me. Sometimes new videos don't always populate in the subscription feed, just the way the algorithm works. But if you sign up for notifications, you just won't miss anything. So you get that content when it's nice and fresh and hot. So definitely do that. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it and you want to see more school type law school videos. So that is it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all so much, and I can't wait to see you in my next video. Bye.